Yup, this is an earbud. Or in audiophile terms, we call them a flathead because they have a flat head. Hey yo, this is Koi with the Nicehck EB2S Pro, a $20 flathead that I honestly did not expect to like this much. But first, let's go over the unboxing. The box is small and cheap, but it does come with an anime girl card for those who are interested in it. Inside is the flathead itself and some foam thingy that you put over the flathead for comfort or sound. I'm not quite too sure what the actual use is, but I prefer to have it on. You also get this nice traveling pouch where you can store your flathead. The design is fairly simple and I quite like it. It's blue with right and left indicator on the back of the flathead. The cable is not detachable, so you have to stick with what it came with. I chose the 3.5mm termination, but you might want to get the 4.4 balanced as it takes quite some power to drive. Just a little bit more than your usual IEMs. One of the reasons I know people prefer to use flathead is the comfort. And as expected, these are super comfortable after putting on the foam. Something that bothered me with the flathead is that because they sit loosely in your ears, I feel like there's always some slight channel imbalance when I first put them on and have to adjust them. Thankfully, you only need to do this once or twice after you put it on, so it didn't bother me that much. Now, let's talk about how it sounds. Looking at the graph, we can see that it is fairly bright sounding and doesn't have much bass. Unlike IEMs, where the sound travels in a sealed space, flatheads are open, similar to an open back headphone, so it just doesn't do bass that well. The good thing is that only the sub bass is really affected by this. You still get a decent amount of mid bass, but it's not something I would recommend to a bass head. But if you're already used to headphones with not a lot of bass, this could just be for you. Another problem I have with the EB2S Pro is that it can get a little shouty. If we go back to the graph, you can see that it has a lot of 3K energy. Paired with not having a lot of bass, it sometimes makes me want to turn up the volume, but it just ends up sounding shouty. Now that we're done talking about some of the problems I have with the EB2S Pro, let's talk about the pros and why I end up liking flatheads because of the EB2S Pro. First is the soundstage. Due to flatheads having a bigger driver and sitting a little bit further from your ears, this gives it a big soundstage and an interesting listening experience. I remember first putting it on and going through some songs. There were songs where I was like, whoa, it feels like the sound is coming from outside of the flathead, which really surprised me. Next, the overall tuning is just very decent. It has good mids and treble, making it good for orchestral music, indie music, and songs that aren't overly energetic. Otherwise, that 3K peak will make it sound shouty. Overall, there is a lot to like about the EB2S Pro. It has a nice soundstage and a decent tuning, but I would suggest people who are sensitive to 3K energy and bass heads to stay away. A part of me is really glad that I got to try this as my first flathead. The openness of flathead is something I found really nice. I can wear it at home or outside and still hear my surroundings, which I know is helpful and preferred by a lot of people. If you can get this on sale for $20, I think the EB2S Pro can be many people's first flathead or their only flathead. Therefore, it gets an easy 3-star recommendation from me for bringing superb value at this price. But at regular price, it gets a 2-star recommendation. This has been Koi. Please leave any comments for questions, and thank you for watching and see you next time.